ask that and then just say that. Ask that and say that as part of the question.
Oh, okay.
Tell us when you're gonna start so we can like start our videos.
Okay, I'm gonna start,
I've
so,
been recording already, so you're good.
okay. All right, you ready?
Already.
All right. Grandpa, please state your name, your age, and what year it is.
Raymond J. Laurie, 89 years old, and it's 2020.
2020, all right. So here's your first question. Tell us how you met Grandma.
Well, Merle and I were both had tuberculosis, as you know, and we were both at a rehabilitation camp in northern Wisconsin. And there was a lot of, well, quite a few people there, and a lot of the young people, and we sort of all kind of matched up. But I wasn't matched up with Merle. I was matched up with a Mexican girl, really. And Merle, I thought, I definitely saw her, but she was with another guy, and he was a little older, and I was younger, and I thought, well, you know, that's the way it is. But then the girl I was kind of going with told me that Merle liked me. So that's how it all started. And when I heard she liked me, I went and talked to her. And from there we started going together, and that's
how you met,
and
okay.
that's how we met, and look what we got. Yeah.
All right. What made you want to ask her on the first date?
Well, I found out that she liked me.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't interfere with the other guy, you know, because I thought she was going with somebody. So until I found out that she liked me, I wouldn't ask her.
Okay. So you had already had contact with her previously, so you knew kind of.
Oh yeah, I saw her definitely. Yes, I definitely saw her
Okay.
many times. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So, when did you know that you wanted to marry her?
I'll be darned if I know. We just started. Well, when we both got out of camp, she was in Antigo, and I was in Marion, and my sister loaned me her car, and I went to see her, and I never really asked her to marry me. We just said, when are we going to get married? And I don't know when it happened or how it happened, but it was just natural. It was just that's the way it was going to be. And
How long was it after you started dating?
not very long, not very long at all, because that was before I even started going. Before she went to Milwaukee, and then I went to the University of Wisconsin, and then I used to hitchhike over to Milwaukee to see her, because I didn't have a car at that time. So every weekend I'd hitchhike from Madison to Milwaukee to visit her, and then hitchhike back again to go to school. And then she got a job in where I worked, or where I was.
Anybody have any follow-up questions before I move on?
Did you ever not get a ride?
Did what?
Did you ever not get a ride?
Have to walk the whole way?
No, not from Milwaukee, no. Always got a ride. We weren't afraid either, and people weren't afraid to pick us up,
Right.
you know. That was a different time.
How long did you date before you got married?
Let me see, we sort of met in the summer. And the fall, just a year. Yeah, almost exactly a year.
So you weren't in this end when you met, you were just at a camp.
We were at camp, yes.
So you both were better.
The what?
You both were better
Yes.
when you met.
And it was a camp where if you had tuberculosis, you were in bed a lot of times, and you didn't exercise and stuff. So it was just sort of a place where you build up your strength again. And like for me, I was gonna start college in September, and this was like in June or July, something like that, June probably. And so I just went up there,
You were
recover
just,
kinda.
you just they just started giving treatment medicine at that time, right? Right about those years?
Well, when I first got TB, there wasn't any treatment. And then the second time I got it, there was some drugs that they gave us, and they collapsed my lung to rust it. And then I still had it the third time, and then the third time is when they took part of the lung out. And it was after we were married that they actually developed a drug that would kill the bug. Before that, it was just at rest, kind of, but it was capsulized in calcium in your lungs. But then if you did too much, it broke open again. And that's why I was in about, a total of about 3 years. that I
Did
was
mom
in.
just have it once?
Mom just had it once, but she had it later, and she had surgery too. So we both had twin scars, yeah.
I didn't even know you had it more than once.
Yeah,
I'm learning a lot.
yeah, 3 times, yeah, 3 times.
But you weren't in like 3 consecutive years, then you were in and out.
I was in and out. I was in, the first time was about 7 months, and then the exact dates, the second time, maybe 9 months or so, and the third time, a year. I don't know, but it covered from the time I was, either 16 or 17 until I was 24. So within that period of time.
Do you know who you got it from?
Do what?
Do you know who you got it from?
Well, my sister was in the Navy, and I found out just a couple of years ago, or just before she died, that she was on disability for having tuberculosis. And so I figured she got, and the fact that she was on government disability, they figured that that's where I got it. That's the only place that I know that I could have got it.
And so it's not, he was telling me it's not like COVID where it's like easily transmittable, but you had to almost like live with somebody, right, to get it?
Yes, yes. In other words, I had it, before I knew that I had it, I had a girlfriend, and we were together a lot, and she never got it. And that's when I was active, very active with it. And still, she never got it, or any of my friends, nobody that I knew that I was around ever got it.
So he was explaining like the camp and stuff that he went to wasn't to, I always thought it was like where they were secluded, but it wasn't. It was just a recoup time.
And I remember at some point going to some clinic or something where, is this when they came up with the cure and we all had to go? Because I think I had to go and get tested too? Or-
Yeah, well, you and Kathy had a vaccination for it,
Okay.
because that was before the drug. And then when that drug came out, Merle and I, we didn't have any choice. I mean, in Wisconsin, they were pretty strict about that. We had to take that drug for about 6 months. We had to go every week, and they didn't give us the pills. We had to go in to get them, because they were very strict about that in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I seem to remember going with you.
Yeah.
Maybe we all went with you
Yeah.
when you had to go, because it was both of you.
So did it affect only one part of a certain part of your lung?
Well, no,
Then how did they encapsulate it in calcium in just one area?
no, the lung itself did that.
Oh, the lung.
The lung itself, that was a natural
Scar tissue.
healing
Oh,
of
gotcha,
it. It
okay.
got in those areas,
I
yeah.
thought you were saying that was what they did before the drug, okay.
Yeah.
Was one of your relapses on a football field? Or no? For some reason I remember somebody mentioning, did you play football?
I played football while I had it, yes.
Okay. Did you ever have any issues while you were playing football?
Well, not that I knew at the time,
Okay,
but I did get unconscious once playing
Oh.
football.
okay.
And,
But did that have anything to do with the TB, or was that just be from a,
Well, probably the heat playing and being worn out with that,
okay,
probably. I don't know, but it was, plus getting hit hard.
okay.
Okay. What were you thinking on the morning of your wedding day?
Oh, boy. Probably thinking of that night.
Were you nervous and excited and?
Yeah, yeah. And, the wedding, it was a big deal back then, you know, the wedding, we were Catholic, so the wedding was in the morning. And so it was an all day from, the wedding was around 9 o'clock or 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And then dinner and then a reception in the afternoon and the dance at night. And so it was a long day.
Okay. What were you looking for in a wife?
Never thought of it. Never thought of it. It just came. It just, you know, it was, I met her and that was,
Now, did you guys go anywhere after your wedding, or did you go, like,
well, a friend of Merle's had a cottage up on a lake in Wisconsin.
okay,
And they gave us that cottage. So that's where we spent our honeymoon. It was
okay.
just
How long, did you guys stay there, a week, or?
a week, yeah.
A week?
Did you go fishing?
Nope. No fishing, no.
Were you did you have plans to have so many kids? Or was that just kind of the norm?
Well, in a way, yes. Before we were married, we were talking about, you know, probably wanted 6 kids. So Ricky, you're lucky to be here.
They call it a bonus baby.
But on the other hand, you know, we were very strict Catholic, so we didn't believe in birth control. So at that time, whatever would be, would be. And very fortunately, birth control didn't work, so.
All right. What of your marriage dreams came true?
I think you guys. All of you, every one of you.
What was the best part of your life with Merle?
I think you guys.
I don't know, I think the fact that she always made you a sandwich.
You know, we had a very quiet, we didn't do a lot, we didn't talk a lot to each other. In a way, we took each other for granted. I mean, it was just, we were just one, kind of.
My folks never fought in front of us, but they would fight in the bedroom after everybody went to bed.
Well, we weren't perfect. I mean, I was kind of mean on speaking sometimes. I was, and she'd let me know too. So, I mean, yeah, I'd say things that I would take as a joke, and she would take as serious. Or I would think was a joke, but it was really kind of maybe putting her down. And she very definitely let me know. She wasn't bashful at all.
Any follow-up questions to that?
A laugh.
All right. Is there anything you wish you would have done different or been different?
I could have been nicer. That's about the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
Did she drive that out of you? I mean, you were nicer at the end?
I'm still not, am I? I think, yeah, that was more in the earlier years.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that happened.
But she molded you, she trained you.
I think so. I think I kind of finally realized it, you know, that I was more careful what I said. With no joking, you know, no joking. If it wasn't
No
really so,
fun.
yeah.
What is the most important thing you would like to share with your grandchildren?
Well, it's unbelievable that I got 7 kids and all of them turned out like they did. That they all love one another, love us. And just realize how important that is for your grandchildren. And that we ate together. That's one thing that we did that I think helped us together, is that almost every meal until they were really gone, at least one meal at supper time, we were all together. Everybody didn't make their own meal, or they were all scattered, or something. So there was always a family. There was always a family.
Did you have to spank your kids a lot? And
Oh, yeah.
Who was the worst?
Yes.
Do you remember the little note under your glass when we made a hole in the wall?
Oh, I remember the hole in the wall. I don't remember the note.
We wrote a note because we were trying to figure out how you would get less mad in front of the whole family. So we decided we were going to write a note, put it under your glass, and when you drank it, you read, "We made a hole in the wall." So you just quietly said, "Well, after dinner, you guys are going to get a spank." And we finished our meal. You weren't too old for spankings then? No, I remember that.
Yeah, let's start bringing up the drama. It's a good time for that. Well, we can bring it up later. All right, I'll move on to the next question. But besides,
Wait,
what?
who was the worst kid?
Who got the most spankings?
Well, not the worst
We
kid,
can
but
take
like
it, we can
the
take
most
it.
trouble kid.
No, don't say it. I will tell you. Probably.
I don't really know. I know, no, I don't.
You go ahead, you
We
can say
don't
it.
know, but it was probably me
It's
or
probably
Mary.
You can say it was me, it's okay. I can
We were
handle it.
partners in crime.
Well, who gave us the most trouble was those two.
Me?
No, me and Mary.
You and Mary, yeah. But that ended very well, so, you know, that turned out very good, so.
So besides your kids, what are you most proud of in your life?
Well, I think of that, my job, that I was respected at work. And was able to stay with the same company for 38 years and get promoted and knew that I did a good job. That I was kind of looked up to by some of the others. That was good satisfaction.
What do you want your legacy to be?
You guys.
What is the best tradition you and Grandma established in your relationship?
I don't even know what that means.
Well, like eating out, eating every night as a family, or
Oh,
you know, the tradition.
well, I think, yeah, that was one of the big ones. We pretty well insisted on that for a long time.
Did you have anything else that you did as a family? Or
Well, we did a lot of camping together. Merle and I never went off on our own, you know, everything that we did was with the family.
I remember lots of camping trips.
Mhm.
They were fun.
Yep.
Is that why you don't like
Yeah.
camping?
Did,
No, those were great memories. I remember camping was great
Yeah.
memories.
Playing rook in the camper.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember the tick part, but it still wasn't a bad memory. I just remember you going through our hair every night, just
Oh,
separating
for
our hair.
the ticks,
Yeah.
for ticks, yeah.
with all those kids, is there any time when things got tight when you thought, how am I gonna pay for all this?
No, because from the day I started with Ostermeyer, I never missed a paycheck. You know, for 38 years, I never missed a, I mean, it's not that we had money, I mean, we had to be very careful because Merle didn't work, you know, outside the house, she didn't work. But, and she did help out for a couple of years. You know, we took care of some handicapped kids, and she did that in the house. But we were never really tight, but we were never, you know, it was always budget. I mean, we always had to be careful because of only one income and all you guys. So, a lot of food. 12 gallons of milk a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I remember that shower head that had the little soap bottle built in. That made the water come out just, you know, do you remember that kind of low flow shower head in their bathroom? That had the little bottle of soap, so the soap would come out of, you don't remember
You
that?
mean in Mom and Dad's?
In Mom and Dad's
I
shower.
remember the towels we each had assigned for us. That's what I remember about it. This is your towel, yours.
Did any kids run away?
The what?
Did any of the kids run away or anything like that?
No.
Not even for
They
a-
almost put
You
us
did?
somewhere. Oh, she might.
I threatened to, and I think I went, like, maybe to Evita's, but I never spent the night away. I
No,
think
I
you
didn't.
just acted like, okay, bye. That was in Sunbury.
No, that's not that I remember. No, I don't, I know some got, especially one got mad at us several times. I'm kinda looking at her.
Mary?
Oh,
You were such a troublemaker.
I wasn't a good kid.
I don't remember you getting.
Yeah, I'd say Mary, if any of them, Mary were probably the most trouble.
Get it from Josh.
Are you crying,
And
Clinton?
now she's the best.
Well, who was the most compliant and
Oh,
easygoing then?
Vicky. No doubt about that.
Well, the smoke was clear by the time she was coming out.
Vicky and Ann was really compliant too, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, none of you really gave me a lot of problems. But Vicky, I don't think she ever got a spanking. I think,
I know you guys are talking about chickens. I'm like, oh. You were the best.
I can't remember that anyway, but Vicky, I can't remember what it was, so I won't say, yeah. Never mind.
Okay. What is the most important thing you want your grandchildren to know? Did I already ask that?
Kinda.
All right, I have some questions here. What has changed the most since you were a child?
Oh my gosh. What hasn't changed since I was a child?
Well,
You know, from radio, you know, we used to dial in to try to listen to a radio show. And all had to gather around the radio, and how that's progressed all the way to the phones. That's probably, communication's probably one of the biggest things. And travel from a Model T to what we got now, or even horse, well, we didn't have a horse and buggy. No, we didn't have, that was a little after my time, and to trust, you know, like we never, anybody ever locked their houses. I mean, you could leave things anywhere and they never got stolen. Or we could hitchhike and never worried about getting attacked or robbed or anything like that. Just the freedom that we had. We could send our kids out to play, send them out in the morning and tell them to be home to go to bed, you know, and it didn't worry about them, where they were or what they did.
But you didn't quite know what we were doing.
The what?
That's under the water now.
Little, like we could go,
Oh, okay,
like I could
yeah.
go to Avita's house,
Okay.
you know, and back.
We can walk to our friend's house.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
ride our bikes
yeah.
around.
Confession's good for the soul. Go
Oh,
ahead.
Dave, well, even Dave wasn't totally innocent.
But when we were young, yeah, we used to ride our bikes all over
Yeah, we could
town
do,
with
yeah.
no fear to the next town. We even rode our bikes
Yeah,
to
I did
in
that.
Sun Prairie to some place where we'd go snag carpet, and you know, we were driving along a highway, and you know.
Yeah. And we used to go, skating. Remember when we went skating
Ice
in
skating, uh-huh.
Wisconsin, and then it was so cold out that we knocked on somebody's door because we were so cold on the way home. Do you remember that? And
Kinda.
we were so cold we couldn't make it home. Remember that? You guys remember that?
I don't remember.
I remember it.
It was like a half mile
I
away, and they had a
don't remember.
warming house there,
Yeah.
you know, but then we had to walk home, and on
Oh,
those
yeah,
really,
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
always at night that we went, mostly at night, so it was, got pretty cold.
Yeah.
What's a warming house?
It was a place at an ice skating rink, they had
Yeah, you go in
just
there
a
and put your
building that
skates
had
on
little,
and stuff.
Benches all along the sides of the wall.
just to
You put
warm
your
up, to
skates
thaw,
on.
to thaw.
Did they have a little electric heater in there? It didn't,
Yep.
it wasn't
They had a
real
little-
warm in there, but it
No,
wasn't
but it was
freezing
warmer,
cold.
it was
Yeah.
no wind and,
Roller skating or ice skating?
Ice
Ice
skating.
skating.
No, but we walked to school.
cause it was outdoor ice rink.
Remember we walked
Was
to
it
school?
a lake or
and-
was it just
both
a
places.
depression where they
It
flooded
was a
water?
depression, they just flooded. Mhm.
Okay, cause we had that in Montana. We had a little ice house and a low place on the park and they would just flood it with the fire hydrant. They just flooded it.
Yeah, that's what they did there.
Alright. What hasn't changed as much as people think?
What hasn't changed? Boy, I really can't think of anything that hasn't changed. Schools, no, even everything's changed, everything's changed.
Everything's changed.
I had a question. When we first landed on the moon, where were you and how did you go about watching that, or not at all? I don't know what you did.
No, I was home, I think,
No, we were
No, we were
actually.
At Grandma and
We were
Grandpa's.
at Grandma and Grandpa's house in
Watching,
Antigo.
Yep, sitting around there,
oh, we were?
Watching it on
watching
their
a
black and white
400-pound black and white TV.
It'd be black and white TV, yeah.
I can remember being on the floor watching.
Oh, so I have a follow-up question then. What is your most memorable world occurrence or, occurrence, like the moon landing or whatever? The one that you
Oh, I
remember?
think Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Really, I think Pearl Harbor was,
How'd you find out and were you truly afraid or worried or?
I was truly afraid. I
angry?
was only, well, that was, 41, I was 6 or 7 years old. And we were outside playing basketball on the Sunday, and after we heard about it, we were actually looking for Japanese planes above Mary.
Wait, if it was 41, did you say?
so you were
We were
11.
11 or 10.
Or 10 or 11, okay, yeah,
Okay.
sorry, yeah.
Were you angry? Were you wanting to get at them, or were you afraid, or?
Oh,
what
at
did you
that
feel
time,
like?
just afraid.
Okay.
I was too young to be angry, yeah. No, I was just afraid, but that was the most memorial, thing. And then really, another one was, when John F. Kennedy was killed. That I'll always remember, exactly what I was doing.
I remember the headlines from that. We were in Sun Prairie and we were getting the daily newspaper and it was huge font when he died.
Yeah.
And I still could have the picture of the newspaper that announced when he died.
Yeah, I even remember I was like 5, 4, was it 64? 63, 64, 63, okay, so it's 4 years old.
What kind of school did you go to? His grade school, was it
Our school was one school, from kindergarten up through high school.
was it one room school?
No, we had actually, Marion had 1,000 people, so, but I mean, all 12 grades were in one school. And my graduating class was either 36 or 37, I forget which one.
Did you like school?
Yeah.
What was your best subject?
I think, bookkeeping, really. Yeah, I love bookkeeping.
What was
They
your
taught
worst?
you bookkeeping in grade school?
What?
They taught you bookkeeping in grade
Oh,
school?
no, that was but it was all the same school.
Oh.
In high school.
In high school, they taught you bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Well, now it would be,
It's called accounting.
computer stuff, right? And there it was just bookkeeping. Now it's on computer, all the stuff that you do,
I had an accounting class in high school.
But it wasn't, was bookkeeping just accounting, or was it?
Well, I think they actually taught us, boy, that's a long time ago, people.
Yeah.
But I really think we learned about checkbooks. It wasn't accounting how to run a business or anything, but it was some practical.
How to balance your checkbook and do
Yeah,
this
things
stuff.
like that, it was, yeah.
They still need those classes today, that's what they're missing in schools.
And what was your worst subject?
English.
Mm.
English.
I resemble that statement.
In high school, English, yeah.
Did your folks have a car or truck or a wagon or what?
Well, my dad died when I was 2.
Yeah.
And so my mother, of course, didn't drive. The first car we had was my brother when he was out of the Navy, I think. Yeah, we didn't have any vehicle until I was...
Didn't you run a coal business? I mean, like you were coal delivery business, I thought, or something like that.
Well, they had a delivery truck.
Okay.
But I mean, it wasn't a family, it was, and whoever we hired.
Yeah.
It was, when my dad died, my mother had to hire somebody to run that, so they always drove it.
So did you guys just walk everywhere?
We walked in Marion, yeah.
So.
And when I got in high school and wanted to see the girls, we hitchhiked to Clintonville, because that's the other place the girls were.
To a specific,
They had all
A&W root
duds
beer
Marion.
place that we visited by, right?
What's
You
that?
said to the A&W place that we went and visited?
Yeah, the A&W root beer stand in Clintonville,
And
yeah.
When me and Dad did our road trip, we
Yeah.
went to that A&W that
It was
we
still
used
there.
to hitchhike to.
And then, so when your mom would get groceries, did she just get a little bit at a time then?
Well, oh yeah, we walked to the store each day, yeah. Because we didn't have refrigerators, we had ice box back then. Where an iceman would deliver a chunk of ice every, 2 or 3 days and put it in the top of the refrigerator.
And then did you have an outhouse at that house?
We had an outhouse, yes.
Was it nice or was it like they are now? Was it nice, like a nice place? I mean, like painted or something inside and nice, or
It was just
like
a wooden
shed?
shed, yeah.
And so, did you get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night like you
we had a potty alongside the bed.
Okay.
Kinda like when we went camping.
And also, we had a furnace that went out at night, and in the morning in Marion, we'd have, you know, they put water in the pot, and it'd be froze. So, that was the house we lived in.
He lived in a house like that too.
Break the ice to flush the commode.
The what?
We had to break the ice.
We had a, yeah.
To flush the commode.
I have a question. Did you have any kind of relationship with the Lord when you were younger, or did that come when you were older?
Well, yeah, well, a different type. I mean, I was Catholic, so we went to church every week. I was an altar boy, actually. And really, I'm glad that I was Catholic. I really was, because the other thing that we learned was if you got married, you were married. There was no divorce, no remarriage, no anything. So you went into a marriage, you're gonna make it work. And I think that was a real good thing. If you had disagreements, you know, that wasn't an option. And I was always thankful for that.
In
Plus
fact-
the birth control.
Right. I mean, in fact, I don't know if it made any difference because you were Catholic, that we did go to church every single week, which I think made such a huge difference in just, I don't know, maybe you guys feel that. Just the fact that we went to church every week when we were growing
Yeah.
up was instilled into us.
Yeah.
So that was good for me, you know.
Yeah, it was a good, yeah.
And did you go to one that was done in your church originally? Was it done in English or was it done in Latin?
Well, or when I was young,
Yeah.
it was Latin, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I actually spoke Latin as an altar boy.
Oh, did you really?
The prayers, I didn't know what I was saying. But
Well,
I
even,
was,
even when we were in Sun Prairie, they did mass, they did a lot of prayers in Latin, didn't they? Still in
yes,
Sun
that was
Prairie?
still back then, yeah, or it was both, but when I was young, it was all Latin, yeah.
Which transfer were you the most, which transfer did you have the most consternation about moving to?
It was, well, there's different ways of saying that. The one that I enjoyed the least was the transfer to Davenport. I never really enjoyed Davenport
I didn't like that
at all.
Mom didn't either, right?
But it was kinda, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was hard on you kids when we moved to Tennessee. Especially on Dave. I think it was very hard on Dave when we moved to.
Kathy felt like an
Tennessee.
outsider.
Probably because of Avita.
Kathy tells that story about all the kids ganging up around her when she came and said, "You're one of them Yankee girls."
So maybe it was harder on all of you than I thought.
But let me tell you this, knowing how Avita is now, if we had stayed in Wisconsin, we'd probably be a bunch of liberals.
Yeah.
I always think that because we moved to Tennessee, God had us move here because of the Mike Nelson and how we all got together.
Well, yeah, and it turned around my life, cause I
Yeah.
was in a crowd that wasn't good
Yeah.
in Sun Prairie.
Oh.
They were all doing drugs.
Oh, really?
You know,
Oh,
yeah,
that I didn't-
the year after I left, you know, into 7th grade, they were all starting in all that, so it was a good place to live.
That early then, huh?
Yeah.
And it didn't affect me at all. I got a best friend right away.
But you were like 2?
Yeah, or one. I had to make a joke, okay?
Go ahead, Grandpa.
Well, I have another question here from Mom. What were the 7 most memorable, heartwarming, cherishing, and favorite experiences you and Mom shared together? Please answer this correctly.
Just think about it a minute, it's a trick question.
I can answer that easy, each birth.
Oh, there you go.
That's 7 answers.
That's not a tough answer.
Yeah.
That was the correct answer.
Are you crying?
What's that?
Are you crying?
I was wiping my nose.
I think you were crying.
Say that, I'm not sure what I.
Oh, you read it again? It says, what were the 7 most memorable, heartwarming, cherishing, and favorite experience that you and Grandma shared together?
Oh, so you actually said 7?
Yeah.
in there?
Yeah, underlined.
Oh, okay.
That was the right answer.
Oh, man,
Oh, well, never mind.
That was the answer she was looking for.
yeah, I was looking for all the births, yeah. Is that what you, oh, is
Uh-huh.
that what you, oh. I
Yeah, that's why, that's why
Okay.
she said 7,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
And then there were other kids, but, and tell me the order of the ones that are in heaven.
Well, 1 premature,
Okay,
and I think we had 2
2
abort,
miscarriages. A
miscarriages, yeah.
Okay, so the premature one was,
About 7 months, or 6.5
Be-
months. something
Between
like that.
Dave and I.
between you two.
Yeah, between, yeah.
Okay.
And her name was Therese Ann.
I'm not
Okay.
Teresa.
Okay.
And yeah, my sister's name's Ann Therese.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the second one was, then the miscarriages were between,
Well, 1 after you, I think.
I remember the one after.
there
Yeah,
was
that
one,
was the, yeah.
there was one after me.
I remember the one in
before?
St.
After you
Perry,
were born,
whether it
yeah.
was before or
Okay.
after, I didn't know.
And I'm not sure when the other one, I'm not sure,
Okay.
sometime in there, yeah.
So I'm not really the youngest.
You what?
I'm not really the youngest.
I guess not. I guess we'll meet our baby sister.
Yeah.
I'm not a babysitter.
Or brother.
So did you get to be with Mom when we were all born?
I never even got to see,
None of
never even in the first couple, never even in the same room she was in. And never in the delivery room. And somewhere along the line, I was able to be with her until they took her to the delivery room, but never, that's as far as it went. But the first couple was never in the room at all.
How long after the birth did you get to have to wait?
Well, when they brought her back to her room, it was the first time that I would see her then.
So what did it feel like when you held when you held your first baby, or any of us? What did you just feel?
I don't know.
Did you feel connected right away, or did you feel like, oh my gosh, this is a baby and I don't know what to do?
I wasn't afraid of you to hold or anything like that. I don't.
Did you help with diaper changing and stuff?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say, well, yeah.
Did you laugh a lot at us when we were little?
Did what?
Did you laugh a lot at us when we were little, like when we made funny stuff, did funny stuff? I remember Mom saying that she laughed a lot at us when we were little kids. You know how little kids make funny
Yeah,
things like Sarah does.
yeah. I don't remember.
There was no ridiculous thing that any of your kids did when they were little? Like the craziest, did they tear something up or do something just nuts? Or just one of them say funny things a lot, like,
Well, I remember Ann running around the room naked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought that was Linda.
Dan.
Ann?
I'm pretty sure.
And I remember her dancing around with the box. We had that on video.
Yeah, they did a lot of
Dancing in the
dancing around the room around Christmas, or, you know, we had, in Sun Prairie, we had, you could go around in a circle through the rooms, and there was a lot of circular.
Well, and you would play Tickle Monster with us. We'd all line up on the couch and you'd tickle.
Oh.
And we got to get the cherry from his Brandy Manhattan. We had to take turns getting the cherry. Remember that?
The what?
The cherries from your Brandy Manhattans?
Oh,
He
yeah.
used to give us.
That was our
We had to
highlight
take
yesterday.
turns.
What was?
Well, Mary had the idea earlier today, when we were talking about this, that, you know, we were talking about how we'd like to have all these memories. She said, you know, one thing I always think of is whenever I go to a memorial service or whatever, and everybody's saying all the wonderful things about the person that's passed, is I wish that they could hear those things now. So I just want to start by saying, you've been a great father-in-law. I really appreciate your positive, upbeat attitude. I'm really thankful that right at the beginning of our marriage, you told Dave to spend all of his savings on the honeymoon, because that kind of thinking's important, Dad.
And I listened.
All the savings going for vacations works for me. And I just really appreciate you and the blessing that you have been in our lives, and I'm thankful that my children have you as a grandfather.